Hi everyone, Mike Mixon from Keyboardamerica.com here in Lewis Beach, Delaware. Welcome to our Song of the Week and Buttons class. This week, this video is going to be on chords. I thought you might like an understanding of chords so that when you're looking at my music and you're trying to play and you see how easily I'm changing chords, I thought it would be really best for you to have an understanding of what I'm doing and how exactly chords work. That way you could progress a little bit easier and faster. Now, most of us growing up, especially people who started playing late or played early and gave it up for a while and came back to it, you're used to doing everything with all 5 fingers. So when I started teaching this class back in 1973, and mostly seniors taking this class, they had trouble moving just 1 finger or 2 fingers, retrain the brain to move those fingers. So with my shortcut to the pros chord chart, which anyone can get free, go to our website and email me at tyrosmike@hotmail.com and ask for the chord chart, and we'll email it to you. Make sure you print it in color because chords in red you learn first and blue you learn second. But I play all the chords in one area, and I tend to teach you sevenths right from the beginning because you're using all 4 fingers, which is easier than using 3 for most people. So there is a method to my madness. Now we're also using different chord inversions depending upon the song, and I'm going to show you exactly what an inversion is and how a chord works in a close-up in just a few moments. So let's get started first by looking at the theory of playing chords and how come my method is so easy to learn and how I make it look so easy. Now, if you have the 5-book bundle and I'm emailing you the chord changes every week, it also has the fingering above the chord. Now, fingering is important because that's what makes it easy to change from one chord to another chord. Now, not all the chords are on my chord chart because I wanted to keep it simple in the beginning, but as you take these lessons week after week after week, you learn different chords as you go along, which is a lot easier than what we're doing from the beginning. So if you do get the 5-book bundle, you'll be able to play these songs much easier. Everything's laid out for you, and of course when to change variations and which intros to use and things like that. But you will learn how to play chords with repetition, and that's why we stay in the key of C and F and we do the 5-book bundle, because we need enough books for a nice variety of music throughout the year. We're currently, I think, coming up on song 46. Next week's song is Run Around Sue, which is really great, and you're going to really learn something about your Tyros too with Run Around Sue. I found something pretty incredible. So let's get a look at the chords now and take a look at the theory. Okay, we're going to start with the C chord. Now, if you went to school for music, you'd learn that the C chord always has to start with the C, just like the F chord. Now that's called the root chord. So all chords start with the exact note. So the C chord is C, E, G. That's the root chord for the C. Now the first inversion, I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. The first inversion, you drop the bottom note, add it up top. And that's the first inversion of a C chord. The second inversion, you drop the bottom note, add it up top. Now that's the C chord I'm teaching you right from the beginning, because you're sitting here with C, and as you play the different chords all the way through, you're sitting here with C, C major 7, C7, C minor 7, they're all right there. For me to go to F, I'm going to use the root chord. I do use the root chord for F. F, A, C. So if you want the first inversion of the F, drop the bottom note, of course, and add it up top. If you want the second inversion of the F, drop the bottom note, add it up top. So for each chord, there's 3 different inversions: the root, first, and second inversion. Okay, now, all the chords on my chord chart, I'm teaching you to play right in this area right here. So you go C, and I usually use a 7th, use all 4 fingers out of 5. But here's a D, 7, F, you keep your fingers in place, not stiff, G, 7, G minor 7, G minor 7 flat the 5th. We've used all these chords. A. Sometimes I play my A chord in this inversion. It just depends. You can even play the A chord in this inversion. So as we're going through each song each week, I'm teaching different inversions, because when you're using your autoplay chord or your styles, it can make a difference. You can use any chord, any F chord or F7th or any inversion. It's going to sound okay and good. But sometimes, because of the style that's going on, the inversion does make a difference. So, for instance, More, that we did just this past week, D minor, G minor 7, C minor 7, and it's very important, don't be stiff. You got to be loose and keep your fingers in place. And it is more difficult moving 2 fingers for a lot of people than it is moving all 4. But the theory is, we'll get you there. Now, a good thing to do is when you're practicing your chords, for instance, if we go last week's song More, if we went from the D minor to the F augmented to the F, to the G7, you can see they're pretty easy moves. D minor, F augmented, F, F7, F major 7, F minor 7, F minor 6. Now, to explain 6th and 7ths, it's easier just to learn them, but here's the C root chord. Remember, if we were going to school, we'd have to learn the root chord first. Well, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. 5. So if I'm playing the C and I want a 6, there it is. So you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. C7. There's 7. C major 7. So all these chords are here. C, C minor 6, C minor 7. So you can see that there is a lot of chords to learn. Repetition really is the best answer. Now, some songs I use my B flat right here. And sometimes I use my B flat here. It really depends on what the next chord is, or the chord prior to that, and what it sounds like with my auto accompaniment. So, you know, when you look at that too, that's an important thing as well. So, if you're playing an F, F6, F major 7, F major 7, F minor 6, D7, and as you can see, or trying to stay in one area and learn how to move one or two fingers at a time. Okay, so how do you practice? That's the question. Now, I'm not asking you to practice a whole lot, but if you're doing a song, you know, you're fine practicing the chord before you turn the style on. Now, you don't want to practice too much on the chord before you put the style on, because then you kind of have to learn it twice. It's much better if you got the first 2 lines down of every song every week, and just keep playing that way, and eventually within just a few short months you'll be able to get through all the songs all the way through. It'll just fall into place. So this is how you should practice playing chords. So if I were to take a chord and go from my F7 to my C7, for instance, turn around here and I'm going to practice my F7, and look at my head. I'm looking straight down at my hand. F7, C7, F7, C7, F7, C7. Look up and keep going. F7, C7, F7, C7. Now put your rhythm on. Do it again. Look down. C7. You can do it faster. Look up. Keep going. Now, this is how I learned how to play bass pedals on an organ. So I'd put the rhythm on and I'd practice moving my foot back and forth on the right pedals, and I'd have to watch what I'm doing, and I look up and keep going. Now, we do stay in the chords in the keys of C and F in my lessons right now, and there is a method to my madness there. Repetition is what's going to do it. So you want to just keep practicing your chords exactly that way. Now, you can practice, like I said, with the style off or with the style on, but the best way is off. Just get the feel of it a little bit, do it 5, 6, 7 times, put the rhythm on, and do it. And what makes it fun playing chords is you can accomplish 2 things at one time. Learning your rhythm styles on your keyboard. There's a lot of rhythm styles in a Tyros, so you know, I've looked for the same rhythm that I used before, and it took me quite a while to find it. So while you're practicing chords, let's do it with different rhythms. Like, that's a great rhythm to do, what I just did, but then let's go up into R&B, for instance, pick 50s rock and roll, and let's practice that F to C7 again. Great stuff. Also, keep jumping around. Go to a Latin, go to a ballroom, go to a waltz. Practice your chords. Your chords, once you get to the point where you don't have to think about it too much, and believe me, you will get to that point if you use this method and you practice religiously and looking down and looking up again, you're going to really get it together. So now you'll be able to do some incredible things with your right hand, even with one finger, to sound great, because you're not thinking about your chords too much. Now, if you do want to learn chords, the root chords, the inversions, all the sevenths and all that jazz, we do have chord books here at the store, and you can email me, and I'm actually going to put one online on my Song of the Week and Buttons class page where the rest of the books are, so that you can order that if you want to. Truthfully, if you really start to practice, that's really the important thing, and if you want those other chords and you want to know what they are, besides what I'm doing in my videos, certainly pick a copy of the chord book up, because it's very, very informative. Okay, so in a recap, whenever you're playing a chord, if it's an F chord and you want to play the root chord, got to play the F note first and then the other notes after. Same thing with a D or a G, it's the same way. It starts out with that. And of course you can actually look at the inversions just by moving the bottom note up and moving it to the top. So I hope this really helped you have a little better understanding of chords and what we're trying to accomplish here. And I hope you have a great time practicing and try that method of looking down and looking up, because that's what's going to do it. And even practicing a few times a day at different times, even for just a minute or two, even 5 times a day. Get away from it, get right back and try it again. Try the same chords. Keep stopping, going away, coming back. The more you do that, the quicker you're going to be able to really play chords and enjoy playing music. This is Mike Mixon from Keyboardamerica.com here in Lewis Beach, Delaware. Remember, if you want to copy my chord chart, just go to my website and click on TyrosMike@hotmail.com. Request a chord chart and I'll email it to you free. Have a great day, keep playing, and see you next week for Runaround Sue.